What is up, YouTube? We are back here with another video. It has been a little bit since the last video I posted. However, today we are going to be going over the top teams from the Sydney Regional Championships. Just kidding, guys. I'm joined here today with Drew Bliss, who actually just won the Sydney Regional Championships. Drew, you mind introducing yourself really quickly? I don't want to yap too long.
Yeah, for sure. My name is Drew Bliss. Some of my online presence, you'll see me as clearmom.com as well. I did win Cindy Regionals over the weekend with a pretty crazy team. And yeah, super excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. Um, okay, so I do kind of like want to say first of all, Drew, like thank you for I heard your introduction. I do want to just say that. But I just want to speak to the audience really quickly. Um, just on this, and then I'm gonna immerse myself into my conversation. I promise you that, Drew. It's gonna we're gonna get our one on one deep conversation here in a sec. But I just gotta announce one last thing. Okay, so the cool part about Drew's team, I just really wanted to highlight this. And I'm sure you'll tell us more about this. It is like this Hisuian Zoroark, like you can't like see it with the with the Poke Paster now it's a little question block. I wish that was fixed for just, extra effects. But point is though, as for the actual like mechanic of the Pokemon, um it's really unique. It's something that I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this guy named Wolf. He uploaded a video. I'm joking. The point is like he uploaded a video on it like not too long ago in Reg H, and it just has some really cool potential on its kit. What I really like about it is you're able to kind of play your own game where the opponent Wolf put in really good words. Basically, the opponent's never certain as to what exactly is in front of them. So it creates a lot of cool mind games. I'm really excited to kind of talk with Drew about that today. But that's all I really had to say. So I do have a loose structure here, so I'm going to introduce us into that, and then we'll get right into it. So Drew, first thing I kind of just want to just talk about a little bit. You talked to me a little bit about it already, but I want to talk on camera. You just won like this like massive tournament, like just like like no BS, like just like talk with me, like how like do you feel like right now, just as like a newly crowned regional
Yeah.
champion? You have like a bunch of emotions, I'm sure. I just want to just talk about that first.
Oh, all of the emotions. It is unbelievable in every sense of the word that this has happened. I was joking with my friends before the weekend, that I actually felt maybe the least confident that I've ever felt going into a regional before this weekend, just because I have been really, really struggling with Reg F. Even when we were playing it previously, I think a year and a half ago or so, it was just a format that I never really felt like you could innovate much in, and it was really kind of you had to stick to something sort of meta and kind of go from there. And I kind of went into this weekend with the mindset of like, okay, you know what? I already have around 400 points. If I have a good result in Sydney, at least like a day two or like a 5-3 or something, top 64, and with a decent result at Melbourne, I can probably still etch out a World's Invite at like one of the last few spots. So I really went into the weekend with very low expectations, and yeah, I really do think that that kind of helped me relax. Though I was very relaxed all weekend, and kind of the mindset of like, okay, I'm in a really high round now, but I'm happy to be here, you know. So yeah, just the emotion of even just getting to top cut with this team and getting to showcase Zoroark on stream and stuff, once that moment happened, and once I got that moment on stream, I think it was game 3 of top 16, and I got like a surprise Oko on the Flutter main turn 1 with my Zoroark. After that moment, I was already just like, okay, I've done what I wanted to do here, which is to show off what Zoroark can do. Anything past this point is just like extra on top of this. But yeah, just there's no amount of words that I can use though to describe how crazy this weekend and these last few days have been. It still feels like a dream.
So I just want to like clarify that really quickly. So what you were saying is like basically whenever you were at this tournament, like you didn't really feel a sense of like pressure necessarily, especially once you got past that hurdle of kind of showing off on
Yeah.
stream for you. That was like your
Hmm.
your moment, I guess. That was your side quest
Yes.
for the tournament, and you did that, and that was like your
Yes.
cool. I did that. Now what? And then after that? Like, what was, like, the mental shift? That's my question for you, is, like, whenever you did that, after you won, you're like, did it hit you in that moment, or were you still, like, kind of locked in? Like, were you still, like, in game mode, or were you like, "Okay, cool, now that's over," like, it's like, I can finally just relax, or was it was that an actual hurdle, or was that just, like, a side quest, is I guess my question.
I think that honestly kinda was a bit of a hurdle in the sense that, like, the entire weekend, I was really since I didn't feel that great about the team going into the tournament, and that I had a really, my record was not that great early on, as we'll get into later, I'm sure. Um, but because of that, I was really just of the mindset of like, look, best case scenario, I think for this weekend is getting to show off a like cool Zoroark moment, a cool like hype play on stream, getting people like talking about this mon at least a little bit, seeing, oh, maybe it top cut, maybe it top aided, whatever. And so yeah, once that moment happened on stream where I got that surprise KO and kind of like instantly turned the game in my favor, turn one with it. After that, yeah, it really was just like, okay, I'm still locked in and I'm like I played very, very well, I think, after that point still, but like I was relaxed in the sense that like the expectation of going further was not feeling pressure from that, which was really nice.
So, I do kinda wanna talk about that, like, I've back in my day, back in I've been known to win a regional, but, back in the olden, like, 2017 was my, 2019 was actually my last regional win, but that one was like a 32-person regional. Point is, winning a regional, there's a certain mentality you need.
Mhm.
Whenever I have had most success, my personal mentality is very much in alignment with that calm feeling. I just kind of want to
Mhm.
talk a bit more about that, Drew. If you could kind of like share like with the audience, like I'm sure someone might would like love to kind of hear like what you're like talking about that. Like whenever you say like calm, like can you like describe that kind of like in like
Yeah.
your own words.
I mean, look, I think calm for me is still nervous because I am so nervous sometimes at these VGC events, especially when I have such a high expectation for myself, which I feel like I always do going into these events. But I really think the key is sort of being okay with whatever the outcome is, because I think a lot of the time in this game, the outcome, while the outcome can be definitely influenced by your own play, so much can happen in the game that is out of your control. And it's like you just have to be able to roll with those punches and be able to smile in the face of that and not get like super down if something happens, or if you make a misplay, or if you get crit, or if you miss a move or something like that. Just kind of having the mindset of not letting that type of stuff get to you. And once you have that sort of mindset, then it's like, okay, now I can focus on just doing what I can do, and the stuff that's out of my control is still going to happen regardless of that.
So okay, sorry. That's like I need to break that down. Okay, so you're saying like focusing on like what's actually like in your control. So like whenever it comes to dealing with RNG, because like a lot of people I've coached in the past, like I don't know if like first of all, you said you do not do coaching at the moment,
I
right?
have not.
Okay.
No, I've never done it.
Now I'm just curious because, like I said, I have a
Mhm.
fairly coachable audience. Just in case any of them were to ever like want coaching, like let's just say if someone's going to UIC, I don't know if someone's watching is going to UIC, and they wanted like quick like matchup coaching. Is that something you maybe would be open to working with them with?
With this team, I mean, I could totally talk about a bunch of different matchups for a long time. That's for sure. But yeah, I think with this team specifically though, it really is so you have to be so reactive to stuff, and so it's kind of hard to give like a sort of set game plan. Like I feel like you're kind of like set lines and stuff that you're kind of able to do with more balance type structures, especially in this format because balance is so good. You definitely can't do that with this team, but I mean,
Wait, no, sorry,
I think
sorry. There's no but on that. Sorry, that was a deep one you just dropped there. I have to just bring us back for a second before we
yeah.
pivot to a but. So what do you mean by that? Like go into more detail. So you said you cannot have structure with this team. Why? Like talk with me about that. Like what do you mean you cannot have structure with anyone?
It's just because you are playing the game one way and you know what you're bringing. You know if Zoroark is on the field, you know you are in the advantage in that sense, and your opponent is basically playing a guessing game each turn. You don't realistically know if your opponent is going to respect Zoroark, if your opponent is not going to respect Zoroark. You don't know if your opponent even thinks that you have brought it. And sometimes, like, there were several moments in the tournament that even I had not brought Zoroark, and I would thought that I was in a losing position. And it turns out that my opponent was playing around as if Zoroark was on the field, and
Yeah.
it was not even there. And so that's kind of what I mean with that, in the sense that, like, you really have to just do your best and roll with it instead of being like, I always lead Zoroark against this team, because if you lead Zoroark against the team, Zoroark has almost no defense. It struggles to pick up Okos on stuff that it doesn't have a super effective hit on sometimes, and it's very, very frail, as I said before, so it is hard to play.
So I can
And
work with
so
that.
yeah. Yeah.
Player habits. So you're talking about player habits. What you're saying? It's not about like no
Yes.
structure. It's all about like, are you feeling Zoroark? Yes or no. So that's the game you play. But
Yes.
like, what goes on in your head? Like a game one. Let's just say it's like you just hit like a
Mm.
bolt balance, like just standard one. Like, are you bringing the Zoroark? Are you
Yeah.
maybe bringing it? Do you even know? Like, do you have a structure? Do you not even know, or
So
do you just guess? Like, what's the feel?
so game 1, so I guess I do have a bit of a structure. It's just not I'm not a player that, like, takes notes or anything like that, just because 'cause I've never found it to be super useful for me. It ends up for me being more of a, like, I find myself wasting my time during the game writing stuff down, and I don't look at it much after. But to answer your question, on game 1s, um, I think in the entire tournament, the only time I brought Zoroark game 1 was in the finals. I almost never bring it game 1, just because I feel like my thought process was, if the opponent is ever going to expect it, it's going to be in game 1, as a
Gotcha.
surprise tactic. And so I never really did that. I kind of took game 1 as an opportunity to just put out a lot of offense, usually with Regidrago as the lead. Occasionally it would be like an Urshifu lead, or even like a Rillaboom plus Urshifu lead without Tailwind. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think game 1 was really valuable for me to kind of get a read on how the opponent is playing. Are they respecting the possibility of there being a Zoroark? Are they completely playing like there is not even a Zoroark on my team? And then that kind of gives me a really good idea on how to play going forward, and if I should bring it game 2, if I should bring it if we go to a game 3, all of that. Like, I think game 1 is almost kind of like collecting information on the opponent for me to see how I should play my Zoroark for the remaining 2 games.
Okay. So, to my like understanding, so okay, so I do want to quickly just like ask you. So, really quickly, you talked about like the non-tailwind mode, going for that a
Mhm.
lot in game one. So, I want to just quickly dissect that down. So, in like non-tailwind, or like, when do you not go with tailwind? Why do you not go with tailwind? And like, what's your general kind of just like throw something at the wall, see if it works, just like your bread and butter game plan?
Yeah. Usually, even if I didn't lead Tailwind, I would usually have it in the back, just because the speed control is just so valuable for my teams, or
And
for my
encore.
team. And Encore especially, yes. Encore was the big one. If I was going to go with a non-Tailwind lead, it was almost always going to be something like Rillaboom or Shifu, just to pressure the Fake Out, and then the strong move that you can't protect against. There were a couple of other scenarios where it would be even crazier leads. Like the game 1, round 1, it was actually a Rillaboom Regidrago lead into a Sun team, into like a opposing Torkoal Fluttermane. And yeah, like different there's a lot of different leads that you can use with the team. And the good part about all of the different leads is that 4 out of 6 of the Pokemon on the team, everything except Rillaboom, could potentially be Zoroark. So it's like, also kind of, if you're able to switch up your leads each game, it creates kind of even more of a mind game with, like, is this Zoroark? Is it not? Can I click Fake Out into this? Can I not? Can I CC this? Can I make any of these plays that will work if it's the actual Pokemon, but will completely thud if it's Zoroark? So yeah, the lead was definitely, I think, the most crucial turn of the entire game with this team. There's no question.
Okay, so I have a hypothesis on lead, and you tell me. Okay, so normally in these videos, by the way, Drew, I'm normally the coach, but now this is like your team.
Hmm.
This is your area of expertise. So I want to ask you a question, and I do not have a certain answer on this. So please, like, tell me and like correct me if I'm wrong. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. So my hypothesis on how to use Zoroark, because like what I'm intending to do with this next question is connect the bridge on understanding how to use Zoroark from your perspective,
Hmm.
and my understanding with it is its most powerful thing is that they cannot know for certain if it is there or if it's not. So that gives you a lot of flexibility. So with that flexibility in mind, it can either make the opponent make a mistake. It can do stuff, either in team preview, out of the game, in the game. Point is, they don't know for certain if their attack is going to land. So that's probably something that's very helpful for it. So
Hmm.
that helps you in the mental game. And then in addition to that, it's also just a Zoroark. So if it can get a kill, because it's an offensive Pokemon, the way you have it is just a life orb one. It's like if it can get a kill, then like well, just go with it because it's like is that kind of correct? Is that like accurate?
Yes.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I actually, when I was describing the team to a couple of my friends here, I was saying that Zoroark's job on the team is to essentially remove something that is like a hard counter to some of my other Pokemon. So that would be for Regidrago, that would be something like Fluttermane or Terra Fairy Raging Bolt or like Terra Fairy Farigiraf. Removing one of those threats, and then Zoroark has done its job. If it probably will die that turn because it has just pitiful defenses, and I had absolutely no bulk on it. And so it is really, really frail, and usually what you're getting out of it is a one-to-one trade, but the trade ends up being overwhelmingly in my favor because I'm taking out a key piece that the opponent's team absolutely needs to counter something like Regidrago or Shifu or King Gambit. So that's really what it's there for, is to kind of take a crucial KO and then probably get KO'd back. Because honestly, getting anything other than one turn on the field with Zoroark is fortunate in my opinion. And yeah, any extra damage that you can get past that is kind of just the cherry on top of its job already being done.
Okay, so that's how to use Zoroark basically. So it is literally
Hmm.
just a cheesy kind of means to an end Pokemon that just sets it up in in-game
Yes.
for you. If it's
Yes.
Regidrago, King Gambit, or Shifu, Rillaboom, whatever. Or
Hmm.
even Whimsicott in games. Hey, that's a real in game. Encoring them.
Yeah.
You
Hmm.
find it in game, and Zoroark is just like the gotcha, and then you just kind of get him into the in game basically, and then
Yeah.
how often did you actually click Hyper Voice? Because you mentioned it only gets off one attack. Did you wish you had a Hyper
Yeah.
Beam? Is my question over like one of these attacks?
Yeah, so Hyper Voice was useful in a few different matchups. I definitely Shadow Ball was getting clicked more. Um, Terra Blast wasn't really ever getting clicked, but it was more the threat of it getting clicked against like Terra Fairy Bolt, Terra Fairy, Farigiraf, Terra Steel Landorus, stuff like that. But Hyper Voice was pretty solid. When I say that you're dying on turn one once you get an attack off, that's not always the case because a lot of the time what happens, especially against something like Fluttermane, is the Fluttermane it's usually will be disguised as like Regidrago or Shifu. And the Fluttermane really wants to go for something like Dazzling Gleam or Moonblast into that slot. And usually before they attack, they are already KO'd. And so in those situations, when Zoroark does survive for after the first turn, Hyper Voice is so valuable to get the chip needed on stuff like AV Rillaboom, AV Incineroar, AV Raging Bolt, AV, anything with a lot of SPDEF. It's perfect for getting enough chip for Dragon Energy to KO once Regidrago comes in. And so that was kind of the mindset behind Hyper Voice. There were a couple of other situations here and there where it was useful. Like I played a Booster Energy Iron Bundle on my last set of day one. And in that matchup, since Bundle has such poor special bulk, Hyper Voice was just such a free click next to Tailwind. And it was OHKOing the bundle. And yeah, so that it was mostly useful as like a turn two play if Zoroark is to survive the first turn.
Ah,
However, against really frail stuff like Iron Bundle or I would have to think of other examples of just super, super frail mons. There were also some situations in which the opponent would lead without speed control.
Right.
And you could go for like Terrastellar Helping Hand Hyper Voice, and that actually does pretty insane damage. It was actually quite useful
Dang.
into hard Trick Room teams as well, because they were really tempted to lead like NDD Hatterene versus me. And then in that matchup, I would disguise the Zoroark as King Gambit to force a follow me from the NDD, and then go for his Terrastellar Helping Hand Hyper Voice.
Oh, that's
And that was
dirty.
like, I
Okay.
think a 90%, yeah, it was about a 90%
So
Oko on max HP hat. So
I'm
yeah.
sold on Hyper Voice. What about the Terra
hmm
Blast? Like, could that have been Hyper Beam? I love Hyper Beam on this thing,
Yeah.
dude. Hyper Beam is just, it gets an Oko. Because if you're trying to get a
Yeah.
trade, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to put my audience on some
Yeah.
sauce. I need to ask this.
Yeah. No, Hyper Beam definitely is usable. If you wanted to slot Hyper Beam over Terrablast, you definitely could.
Boom. That's the
The
hook. We got
main
him, guys. I'm
reason,
kidding. Sorry, continue. That was a
no, you
joke.
can totally do it. Yeah. But the main reason why I did not do it is for specifically Terrasteel Landorus. Um, and just for other
Oh,
occasional Terra Steels that you run into, just because
that's smart.
the main reason why I was using Hyper Beam ever was to catch out like Terra Fairy stuff. Um, and on pretty much all the Terra Fairies, you're doing like Stab Hyper Beam is doing just a little tiny bit less than super effective Terrastellar Terrablast would be doing. And so Hyper Beam worked, but I would play against like Terrasteel Landorus and occasionally like Terrasteel Cresselia, stuff like that. And I just found that they were generally doing the same thing,
Right.
and Terrablast was just a little bit more flexible. There's also a few scenarios, very, very rarely, that you'd come across where like you would need single target damage into like a ghost resist or something. And then you could use non-Terras Slice Terrablast as just like a mid ground option. Um, but in that slot, you could also like the move that I was going back and forth with before the weekend was actually Taunt in that slot, which was really, really good into the
Hello, Drew? Oh, no. No, 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 no. Hello?
or Farigiraf or Saluna type
Wait,
teams.
Drew, sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, sorry, you just cut out there. I think it was because
Oh, sorry about that.
you're in Australia, right?
Yes,
Dude, you're
I'm in
literally
Brisbane.
across the entire freaking world. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Okay, that makes a lot of okay. But you were talking about Taunt over Terrablast. You're talking about Taunt over Terrablast as a potential option?
Yes. Yeah, I definitely went back and forth on it. Taunt was just so good into the like P2 Ursa type structures and like the stuff like that. Like P2 Ursa, Farigiraf is amazing. Taunt is amazing for Farigiraf. It's amazing into Cresselia. Like all these bulky Trick Room setters that kind of just sit on the field and absorb a bunch of hits. Taunt was super valuable for because obviously with the looking at the team, it's really on team structures like P2 Ursa, it's really easy for them to just lead like a fake out user like Incineroar plus the Trick Room user, and then go for something like just fake out Trick Room, and it's pretty free. I can't really do much about it. But with Taunt Zoroark, not only can you not fake it out, but you're tempted to click fake out into it because it's something like Regidrago or Urshifu. And then you basically get a free taunt off, and then that's another situation where Hyper Voice can come in really clutch. Is you get a taunt off, prevent a Trick Room, for example, and then you can get off a really powerful Hyper Voice, and like with the 30-40% chip that it's doing to like P2 and like AV Ensign and stuff, that can put them in range after for stuff like Helping Hand Dragon Energy and some of the other really, really strong moves on my team.
So, okay, got it. Like I actually do on that note, I want to specifically ask about your P2 and Instant matchup because like I need to just like
hmm
go all the way back to that. That was like the main thing. I need to like not let that one
hmm
get away. I actually got it asked a specific question from one of our audience members, by the way.
hmm
NJ11, I don't know if you know this player. He got top 8 worlds in 2024 using a Regieleki team. Yeah, it was top 8. and he asked me to ask you, what is your matchup into like Ensign plus Crest or Ensign P2, Ensign, just the Trick Room for Riddraff or whatever,
Mhm,
Ensign plus Fake Out plus Trick Room, because he was just like he's kind of a wizard whenever it comes to like finding like holes, and he just said like I'm just curious because like, I don't see how you break it. Like he asked me that straight up, and like
mhm,
now that you kind of mention it, I want to connect the dots. I got to ask you that
mhm.
question.
Yeah, totally. Um, I One of my losses was to P2 Ursa. However, one of my wins in, I believe it was top 8 against Joji Kaeda, one of the best players in
Yes.
Australia. He was running P2 Ursa, and I did beat him in that set. And we were talking afterwards, and he was saying that the matchup, that he was unsure of what he could even do in the matchup, which I think my line into the matchup just depends on what I end up predicting is the lead. In my experience, generally P2 Ursa teams like to lead the fake out plus P2, and it's with the structure of my team and with the fact that fake out could potentially just be completely useless if it happens to be Zoroark, I feel like they're generally more incentivized to click something like parting shot or U-turn on the first turn with Incineroar rather than fake out. And so in those situations, I think my line tends to become something like Zoroark Regidrago lead, disguise the Zoroark as her Shifu, potentially beta fake out into the Urshifu slot because I'm threatening an Oko onto the Ensign and really, really heavy damage onto the P2. Um, and then ideally, in that scenario, I can get Terra Stellar off with Zoroark and get the Hyper Voice off. And Hyper Voice with Terra Stellar, Life Orb, Modest, Max Special Attack into Dragon Fang, Modest, Max Dragon Energy usually will pick up the double KO in that scenario. And if I'm able to get the double KO for free in that situation, then it is literally just a turn one win.
Okay.
And so,
Sorry,
yeah.
I need to catch another thing I just noticed because um I know in a minute here, like around I think you said Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, one of those days. Right now it's Monday at the time we're recording this. You guys are watching this on Tuesday if you guys are watching on day one. But the following day, Wednesday, maybe the day after that, Thursday, and the day after that, Friday, by certain. Drew here is gonna upload a breakdown of all of his EV spreads and everything. So you definitely want to sub to him. He is on our channel right here. But on that note, on the note of EV spreads, I do need to ask
Hmm.
you this question, Drew. So you just
Hmm.
talked about what I think you said Zoroark, Modest Max. You said Reggie Draco,
Yes.
Modest Max. And then I know you talked to me about that
Yes.
Urshifu, which is Adamant Max Attack, Max Speed. And then you have a Focus Sash Whimsicott, which I can only guess can have one particular spread, something with 4252, 252, if I were to guess.
S-
And then maybe Rillaboom can
Surprisingly
give.
not. Yeah.
Whoa! Okay, you
Surprisingly,
guys got to
Whimsicott is
subtract that.
not, but that will come out. But it is close to that, but not
Okay,
quite. And
got
actually, now that I
it.
think about it, I did swap my Reggie Drago spread last second to I think I had a little teensy bit of bulk on it. But yeah, I am a big believer in on hyper offense teams. I'm a big believer in just max max, and
I
especially on our
agree.
Shifu in this format. I think on a Tailwind team, it's so nice to be able to outspeed booster Flutter Mane unless they're literally timid max speed. It's so nice to be able to outspeed them in Tailwind
Yeah.
because they just are going to drop to the max attack surging strikes. Even like the 252, 220 defense bold one is still, I think, a little bit at risk of like a high roll.
Nah, dude.
And
I did the calcs
it's
on that one today.
crazy.
No. I will say though, on that one calc, sorry, it just only because this is fresh on my mind because I just coached a student on this. With the Fluttermane, if you are 236 bold and you go down to 212 in HP, the odds you get in the OCO are like literally 0.29 if you're max attack.
Wow.
But for what it's worth, hey, you could get it. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like you could get that. But or if they go
Yeah.
timid or something, they have to go what like they have to
Yeah.
hit how much speed outspeed you? 'Cause you at 149, 2x. That's
Yeah.
298. They have to hit 300s. They have to hit, shoot. I used to be a math whiz. I'm
They
not
have
that
to have
good. 200. They have to
They
hit
have to have
200.
quite a bit of
Duh.
speed.
It's
Yeah,
like
they have to
200
have a
stat.
lot of speed, timid. They have to be timid and almost max speed. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, so they need a bunch to okay, I see why you did it, and that makes a lot of sense because you're a Tailwind team.
Yes.
And for what it's worth,
Yes.
I do want to back you up. Just like, like just Pokemon player to Pokemon player. I agree with
Mhm.
you in the sense where it's like if you're on a Tailwind team, like you're supposed to be moving fast, hitting hard. And if you cannot do those two things, why are you playing Tailwind offense? And that's the first thing. And
Yes.
the second thing I gotta say is I know some people do this. I think living Thunderclap on Urshifu is so capped because you either Terra out of it, outplay them by switching out, clicking Aqua Jet,
Yes.
or it's like,
Yes.
it's like you don't do that, dude. Like no one
I
does that.
completely
Like it's like
agree.
just
I
switch
completely
out. And
agree.
plus you have two grass types, dude. You switch in your Whimsicott, it's
Yeah.
encore bait. The rest of the
Yeah.
game, GG,
I
congrats.
exactly. Yes.
Like
Yes.
I agree with that.
Exactly.
I want to back you up on that.
Yeah.
I just want to say that. But yeah.
Yeah. And I have to say with the Urshifu spread, there were so many moments that I don't even know if I could count them where the fact that I was max attack and max speed won me games in the tournament. And there were so few situations in which my Urshifu died to a hit that I was thinking, oh, maybe I could have lived this if I
Right.
was more bulky or something. Like I really if there's any spread on my team that I really felt vindicated for running, it was genuinely the Max or Shifu. Like I out of all the EVs on my team, that was unironically the best one, and it's the most simple one as well. So yeah.
Yeah, and also I feel like the reason why it's so good is because you know what it's capable of doing at such a high level because you know it's maxed
Yes.
out to do that exact specific thing for
Exactly.
that specific situation. So it's really good at doing
Yes.
that one thing, which in this case,
Mhm.
outspeeding Fluttermane Tailwind. That comes up a lot, I bet. And Okoing Fluttermane.
Yes.
Cool. Easy.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, and people aren't expecting it either, which is also why I feel like it's so powerful because people see Mystic Water Urshifu and they're like, okay, this is like bulky with like 124 attack and a little bit of speed and a bunch of bulk and stuff. And then they play me and they try and go for a play thinking that I'm not like super, super turbo fast and strong Urshifu. And then their Fire Pond's getting like outsped and O-code on turn one.
Right.
And it's like nobody's really when they see Mystic Water, nobody's expecting that.
Yeah, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And also, it's like, not to mention that Urshifu could hypothetically also be a Zoroark. It's like that's just another thing they have to
Yes.
consider in a turn one.
Yes.
So I see what you're talking about. It's like there's all these extra variables. But on that note, on the topic of secrets, this is another thing I had written down. I thought about this. And like I think someone in my audience asked me this. Let me check. Because I would have given them credit. No, okay, this was my question. Okay. Basically, when it comes to like this team, now that like everyone, you just you're a regional champ. Like the secret's out. You said you're going to no other reg F events. You didn't say this in like this like recorded, but off recording. My just to my audience, Drew told me he's not going to any other reg F events. He wants his team progress. Speaking of which, that's my next question. Do you see this team progressing? Like, and just please, like, I just need you to just be so straight up
Yeah.
with me because EUIC is right around the corner. There might be one desperate viewer that's just watching this, and maybe if you should let them know if this is when you should have this team and when you should not have this team. I need to know that
Yeah.
differential.
Look, to be completely honest, I I play very, very aggressively. Um, and I kind of always have done that. And generally the teams that I build do have not they literally every single team I've ever built has a mon with less than like 1% usage on it. And so literally there's always a surprise factor for it as well. Obviously that is completely gone now. Um, that being said, I do think the team is still good. However, if if you are a player that would be interested in picking this team up and you are wanting to play with like a set structure of what you do into certain teams and you're wanting like to make safe plays constantly and to not have to make calls and stuff, then I don't think this is the team for you. You have to make some pretty big calls pretty often, I feel, with this team.
I'm
And if you're
sorry, my
able to
European
do that,
audience. If you guys are watching that from Europe, I'm very sorry for that
yeah,
terrible. I'm
yeah.
kidding. Sorry, that was a joke. But sorry, continue. My bad.
But yeah, no, it's I mean, I think it's a very hyper offensive team. Not to say that it doesn't have somewhat of a defensive backbone. Like to circle back to what we were talking about earlier with the P2 Ursa teams, if Trick Room does go up in those matchups, it's really not that bad and it's pretty feasible to stall it out just because you have Rillaboom in the back with grassy
Whimsicott
terrain
too,
providing
right?
recovery. You have Whimsicott as well with the Encore pressure. You have King Gambit, which is able to tank Facade pretty comfortably. You have Terra Flying on the King Gambit, which can make you immune to Earthquake and Headlong
You
Rush.
can fake out Surging
You
Strikes
definitely have
too.
yes, like there's lots of different tools that the team has that lets you make some more defensive plays. However, generally it is still a hyper offense team at its core, and I do think that some of the like wow and surprise factor of the team has been kind of lifted now that it has a regional win. That being said, if anyone is curious to use it, I'm so curious to see if other people are able to have success with the team. I just I can't stress enough that the team was built single-handedly by myself. There's not a single other person that I don't think there's a single other person that did an EV spread that did anything else on the team really, other than maybe a few suggestions here and there. But like the team is built for my playstyle, which is like hyper aggressive. So that's like my so to answer your question, like yes, I do think the team has potential, but only if it's played properly, you know?
Okay, so guys, chat, I have a great idea. If you guys do not feel confident in the hyper offensive play style that Drew just said, I just came up with a hybrid version. I'm actually going to ask Drew. You don't even know what I'm about to say, but I'm about to hit you with this. You're going to adapt on the fly because I want to hear how you react to this. Okay, so
Mhm.
what are your thoughts on just hypothetically if we were to go Ensign over the King Gambit and then Fluttermane potentially over the Zoroark?
Yeah. No, I think that would absolutely work. Um, in the testing phase for the team, I actually like the week before the regional, I know I said earlier that I wasn't feeling super confident, and there was a moment before the regional where I'm like, I do think Fluttermane is an objectively superior ghost type to Zoroark. Obviously, they don't do the same thing necessarily, but yeah, you could totally slap Flutter plus like Ensign on the team and more or less accomplish the same thing because Gambit was really there on the team. I think you could still keep Gambit, honestly, over something like Ensign, but if you wanted to do Ensign, you totally could
Wait,
as well.
what if we
Gambit
went Goldango over the Fluttermane? Because I actually
so Gambit used to be gold, actually.
no
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. It was initially Goldango. Um, I just found that with Goldango on the team, two reasons why I went Gambit was because one, um, I was really struggling against like Terra Fairy, Assault Vest, Snarl, Raging Bolt. With like Snarl and Electro Web and stuff, they were just able to so freely click
Facts.
those stat dropping moves against me. And also Gambit was really nice against the Trick Room teams as well, just because it has that 50 base speed tier. And unless someone's running Min Speed or Saluna, then you're at least speed tying with them because I had no speed on it. Um, Also, the Sucker Punch priority was really, really nice as well because a lot of the time with Zoroark, you were chipping things to like 20% or something. And with the combination of Helping Hand plus like Aqua Jet, Grassy Glide, and stuff, you were actually able to pick off stuff like Landorus Incarnate from full with like Sucker Punch plus Aqua Jet. So I do think Gambit was actually quite good. You could definitely sub it for another Dark type or another Steel type like Gold or Ensign.
Okay.
Um, but yeah,
Okay, so did you
Flutter, you
guys
could definitely
in
replace
the
Flutter with or Zoroark with Flutter, but yeah.
so in the audience, I need to just specify one thing you said, Drew, just to like echo this, because I think this is the single most
Mhm.
important thing. Uh so the reason why King Gambit is here is because it helps into AV Whimsicott. Now, okay, the little like the little devil's advocate on my shoulder is just like, well, we have Whimsicott, we can encore, we can high horsepower with
Mhm.
Rillaboom. I'm just like, oh well, we could outplay
Yeah.
it that way. But you're also not Cover
Yeah.
Cloak, right? You're not Focus Sash. You can't play a splashable.
Exactly.
So it kind of
Yeah.
it becomes a
Yep.
different game. That being said, maybe you could slot the Focus Sash onto this last slot, like we could add Ensign over the King Gambit slot, and then we
Mhm.
could potentially who knows? But we have to figure. Like I think that Drew, you did bring up a really valid point that I'm just trying to echo to my audience. Is just that if we are slotting out that, it needs to deal with that AV Whimsicott. So maybe you do go Cover Cloak Whimsicott from that, and then you can evolve it in that direction further. I don't know. But yeah, thanks for
Mhm.
that insight. That I hope that if someone wins a UIC with that and you guys got it from here, Just give me a little thanks. That's all I want to say. But no, no, for real though. Thank you. Thank you though for opening up with all this
Yeah.
stuff, Drew. It's really cool. And just thank you, man. I
Yeah, of
really
course.
appreciate it.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's I think if there was one thing that you could just slap on the team and probably still have pretty good success with, would just be, yeah, replace Zoroark with Fluttermane. I ended up going with Zoroark over Fluttermane because if you have, obviously, the way Zoroark works makes your opponent play just completely differently, and you can pick up those surprise KOs that if you had Fluttermane, then the surprise factor of Zoroark is eliminated completely. Um, and then, like, say your opponent leads Fluttermane and they see that you have, like, Specs or Booster Energy Fluttermane threatening, like, Oko on it or something, then they're going to, like, Protector Switch, pretty much, or Terra or something like that. Whereas with Zoroark, you can kind of be like, no, this is not Zoroark, this is Urshifu. And you don't get that sort of same
Right.
surprise factor with it. But I do think that you get the
A better
utility from
Pokemon
using,
in
yes, a
Fluttermane,
better overall Pokemon. Absolutely.
but you lose the aha surprise factor of the Zoroark, which for you in
Yes.
this specific tournament was the reason why you
Oh, it was
won. And this is what helped you win
absolutely.
specifically. Okay.
Absolutely. No question about it. Yeah, Zoroark, there's no question that if I had Zoroark or if I had Fluttermane over Zoroark that I would not have won this tournament. In fact, I would not have even made day 2, I don't think.
Holy cow. Oh yeah, because you started off 3-2. Oh my goodness. I didn't even talk
Yes.
about that. Okay, audience. This guy started off 3-2. Drew started off 3-2 at the last. Okay, so your back was against the wall. Literally, like you're sitting
Mhm.
there. Like I need to like hear the full build up. Just like as like a player, I eat this stuff up. I don't care about the 10-0. You know, okay, I low key do that. We'll talk about that later. But point is, I'm talking about the 3-2. It's like you were in the depths
Mhm.
of hell, like the actual like you were fighting demons.
Mhm.
I'm sure, or you weren't, or
Yeah.
maybe at 3-2 you were in Zan. I do not know. That's what I want to hear. Like, can I just like hear about your morning of the tournament?
Mhm.
How you started off 0-2? What changed? Like what that moment
Yeah, totally.
was?
Yeah, I believe I won my first 2 rounds in a pretty convincing manner. Well, I think I went to game 3 on round 2, but anyways, I lost my first, set in round 3 to P2 Ursa. I just wasn't playing super well, wasn't doing my usual game plan of, like, the Zoroark, Regidrago stuff, and I was just getting led, Ensign, P2 on every time. But, round 5, when I took my second loss, I was playing against Diego Ferreira. He's a really good player from Australia. He always plays hard Trick Room. Um, he also plays very, very unique teams. It was a very when I say hard trick room, you might think like Hatterene, like
Wait, sorry.
Gallade, stuff like that.
Before we open up the round two, I just need to talk about round one. Would this have
Hmm.
helped if you were to ghost on the Regidraco to at least threaten? Because I know you said your game plan is relying on them clicking parting shot. Would it have helped if we were Terra like ghost on the Regidraco instead of Terra Steel to pressure that mind game even more so we can get off of that Dragon Energy successfully, either through clicking Terra Ghost or through not even clicking it? I'm just curious.
Um, it is useful sometimes in that matchup. However, I feel I used to be Terra Ghost when I first made this team,
Okay.
and I actually ended up dropping it just because I found that my opponents were so disincentivized to click fake out in the first place because of the potential Zoroark. And so
That's
yeah, I mean,
genius, but if there's no Zoroark, if it's Fluttermane, did you guys hear that, guys? If there's no Zoroark, that means you lose that mind game. So, continue.
yeah, if you were to switch to Fluttermane on the team, then I actually would change the Drago back to Terra Ghost for sure.
Okay. Got it. All right,
Yeah.
that was what I was looking for. Thank you so much. All right, continue. Round two. You're up
Hmm.
against one of the world's best hard trick room players on the entire planet. Round two. You're 0-1 at this point.
No, this was round 5, so I won my
Oh,
first 2 rounds, and then I lost round 3, won round 4, and then I played Diego round 5, I
got it. Okay.
believe.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
We just got there really fast. I just need to like just break that down. So you start off 0-1.
Hmm.
Just like quick mentality check. 0-1 to 1-1.
Or no,
Uh
I started off 2-0, and then I lost my third
oh.
round.
Okay, so you were cruising. So do you start off the day really good to it? Did you do a routine? I just need to just do a quick like mentality check. Like what did you do in the
Hmm.
morning that got you in mental to start off 2-0?
Oh god, actually my mental state was terrible because I slept awful the night before because the
Sure.
hotel that I was staying in, the aircon didn't work. And so it was super, super hot and humid in the hotel, and I was like sweating the whole night.
Holy
And
cow.
I'd only slept like a couple of hours, and I got like a McDonald's and like an iced coffee from or but I got a McGriddle and an iced coffee from the McDonald's next door,
Okay.
and then headed to the venue. Round one was funny though. Like I was talking about this last night, um, but round one, turn one of the very first game, I think perfectly encapsulates what I was saying earlier in the fact that I am like a turbo aggressive player. I led Rillaboom Regidrago into a Sun team with the opponent leading Torkoal plus Fluttermane, and it was Terra Fire Fluttermane with Mystical Fire. And I remember sitting there, I'm like, am I crazy enough to click Fake Out Dragon Energy into Fluttermane turn one? And the answer is yes, I am that crazy, and it worked, and I got a double KO,
Holy
and
cow.
I won the game instantly. And so, like, that, when I say that you play aggressive on this team, that is what I mean. Like,
You got to be willing to
if you
risk it
take,
all.
yes, like, don't get me wrong, there are safer leads that I could have taken into that
But if you get
matchup.
caught with your pants
However,
down, you need to all
yes,
in.
yes,
Okay.
exactly. Because I was like, this yeah, exactly. So
Got it.
if you get caught out, then you have to play very aggressive to get out of it. Not to say that it's not winnable because I won that set 2-0 pretty convincingly, but like the team the team requires you if you get if you get a bad lead matchup,
To make out of the box
which
plays
happens.
to get out of them.
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
And
Yes.
also, I need to talk on just like that concept. The lesson here, by the way, guys, is not to dragon energy and fake out a flutter main. Like that's like I maybe
Yeah.
I get it. Like
No.
it's like that's like the funny part of it. It's like okay, like, and I don't want any of this to like in the back of your head think, oh, maybe that crazy play will work, and it's just like completely out there. Like whoa, that was a little bit of an accuracy, but like what does matter here is that I whenever Drew was going for that read, and all top players have this, and this I'm going to speak your language here for a second, Drew, and you can tell me if I'm
Mhm.
completely wrong. Maybe I'm not speaking your language,
Mhm.
but every top player I've spoken with has seen this. You see a vision in your head, and you
Yes.
have to confidently believe that this is the direction the opponent is walking in, and then you have to call that exact two inputs out. The opponent only has
Yes.
two inputs they can go for, so it's just an extension of just going for, I think they're going to click this on this Pokemon and that on this Pokemon, and you just call out their
Mhm.
exact input to the wire. Now,
Yes.
there had to have been reasons. So you mentioned fake out pressure.
Absolutely.
That must have been because you had a Rillaboom. So you could have protected and
Yes.
wood hammered. So there was some reason as to
Exactly,
why.
that is exactly why I did it. Yes.
Bingo, as to why they could have
Yeah.
potentially have stopped that. So just I'm communicating with my audience. So this is what high level Pokemon is it's the game behind the game. It's like the not what just
Mhm.
what's right in front of you. It's what can happen and what could happen, and then you have to kind of find the middle ground. And then it's really weird. The game is I don't know. I kind of like. I stopped trying to like explain and like understand the game. It's like the more I like research it, and the more like, I try to understand, the more I realize I don't really know anything about it. But you're off of a
Yeah.
hot like result right now, so you clearly are onto something at this moment in time. You're like at your high a peak in your career, and that's just like I want to highlight
Mhm.
this. So I want to also just quickly like encourage you, like if you're rewatching this in the future, because like if you ever get like down, you know what I'm saying? It's like just like you can do it. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know
Mhm.
if you ever watch this whenever you're like 30. I don't know how old you are. Shoot, maybe you're like a little bit older than 30. Like you're laughing at me. I have no idea. But you know what I'm saying? It's maybe 40. I'll shoot super far. Like let's just say like you're it's like maybe like, cause I know you said you're in school. I'm guessing you're not in school at 40. So I was gonna say that.
No,
Let's just say,
I'm
you know,
25.
there you go. Okay, okay. I said 30 was a safe bet. Awesome. I'm almost 25 for the record, but basically, yeah, like it's like maybe you watch this back in 5 years. If you're feeling like down, like this is technically a highlight in your life. You know what I'm saying? This is like a high, like
Yeah,
this is a moment.
absolutely.
It's like I don't know. It's like what the future holds, but it's like you did it. So I just want to just celebrate that
Mhm.
really quickly and just like just say it's like congratulations. But um,
Oh, thank you, I appreciate it.
yeah, of course. And also, like, thanks just for, hopping on here and just like sharing the insights and everything. I think
Yeah, of
like
course.
I'm trying to like really quickly just like start to kind of wrap this up. So I'm gonna like talk to my audience. I kind of hit like more or less like everything, just cause like I don't want to keep like, like yapping everything here just cause like also I respect your time, respect audience time, everything. Point is, I just have like one last like I guess like kind of question for you here. Is like going forward, so like not in like the metagame. And I don't really want to leave this like open-ended. I kind of want to leave this like on like a closed note because I want you to wrap us up here. I just need to know like what is your like next immediate step? You can tell me your next step in life, but also like in terms of like the game itself. Like obviously you're going to
Mhm.
Worlds, so it's like what's your plans for that? Are you competing in anything else? Is there any shot maybe, or is it just all the way out? I want to hear about that.
Yeah. I will probably almost certainly be going to Melbourne Regionals in May of this year.
Okay.
Obviously, we don't know what the format's going to be. We are assuming that it will be champions and that there will be mega evolutions returning. The two that I'm particularly keen to use are Mega Lopunny. I think Mega Lopunny looks absolutely fantastic now with all of the new tools it's gotten. I'm really, really excited to use that. I'm also really keen to use Mega Alakazam, actually. All the Queensland players can attest to the fact that I am a huge fan of Psy Spam. My Reg H team was actually a Psy Spam team with Exeggutor. That was probably maybe my favorite team I've ever built. It was so much fun. But yeah, I am really keen to see what Champions brings. I mean, none of us really have a clue, but I mean, just based on like the old megas that are returning and stuff, I think those are the two that I kind of have my eye on right now. Of like, these are probably not going to be the most used things, but they're probably going to be. I will probably be able to make them work because I think, as I said earlier, like I am a player that really thrives off of having that sort of unexpected surprise factor on my teams, where like all of my teams have something that's being underrated right now, in my opinion, or something that's low usage or something like that. And so, yeah, just I think when I'm at Worlds this year, I think what you can be certain that you will see is something out there on the team. That is a 100% guarantee. There will always be something out there on my teams. Like my other top cut result was with Giratina. So yeah.
Okay, and then one last thing. This is gonna be the final thing to round us out. So you
Hmm.
mentioned low punny and you mentioned Mega Lucario. I'm gonna just like or sorry, not Mega Lucario, my bad. Mega low punny, Mega Alakazam, my bad, sorry. So Mega low
Yes.
punny and Mega Alakazam. What we're gonna do, just to wrap this out, is we're gonna both build a team really quickly just together. We're gonna try to be
Hmm.
somewhat quick. This might be upwards of 10 minutes, but maximum.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe it's over 2 minutes. I don't know. It's a speed building thing. So timer on this. We're gonna whenever you're ready for that. All right, I'm gonna my timer going.
Yeah. Legal in this theoretical.
Ooh, let's go.
Okay.
Sorry. So no like restricted legends, but yeah, though like Regaf, basically Regaf plus all time essentially.
Gotcha. I mean, look, I think because I am right now, I think I'm so, ever since it got expanding force and nasty. I can already think of 3 team members for. So
Okay.
yeah,
All right. Get us started. Okay, three, two. All right. What do we have?
Alakazam, expanding force, Dazzling Gleam and Shadow Ball. I think they're both good. I just because I know Mega Metagross is going to be everywhere. Let's go Nasty Plot, Expanding Force, Shadow Ball, Protect on Mega Zam. 252, 252. Obviously, we want that max speed. We want to outspeed him, one-shot everything. Though we could Loki probably afford Modest with how insane its speed tier is. But let's just go Timid for now, just in case.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if we could go tailwind if we do go modest. Dude, I love the modest idea because we're 175. Come on, brother. We gotta go
Yeah,
modest on that.
175 Modest
Yes.
Expanding Force.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's ridiculous.
That's redonkulous.
I think if we went Modest, you could low-key go Dazzling Gleam over Nasty Plot. Like
Okay.
the Expanding Force is just blowing everything up.
Right.
Um, but yeah, next slot, Tapu Lele, obviously. I think we could also go with Indeedee Female if we wanted a more supportive role for it.
Ooh.
I think both are good, honestly. I think you could literally run both on the team, like, unironically, just because Rillaboom is
You
everywhere
are
and, like,
absolutely
being able to
correct. Oh my goodness. Okay, if we do this, then we
Yeah.
absolutely need we need some kind of tailwind as well. 'Cause we can like imprison Trick Room on the Indeedee just to really shut down that stuff. And then we need something for instance. We need Ursh Rapid Strikes in this. I'm gonna add Ursh Rapid Strikes for us.
I was actually gonna suggest a different fighting type, and that was
Which
gonna be
one?
Sneasler
Okay. Why's that?
with Psychic Seed.
Okay,
Um,
Sneasler with Psychic Seed. Let's slap it down. Yeah, let's do it.
yeah,
Okay.
I'm building this sort of based on what my Reg H team was like, which was like
Yeah.
this Executor hyper offense team that also could set up Trick Room if I really wanted.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, like on that team, I was a little bit weak to Intimidate, but it wasn't like debilitating.
Wait,
And
let's
like
just go Ursh as
Sneasler,
well. Let's just go both, dude. Why don't we just slap both on? Is that a problem?
we could do both. I think it leaves us a bit vulnerable to like
Flying
fairy
types.
type spam
And oh yeah, and
and to
fairing.
flying types.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but I do think Sneasler's more or less able to accomplish what needs to get
We'd have
done.
to go Golden Go
Um,
last if we do that.
Yeah, I think Goldango could be a really solid last on it as well. One of the things that I found to be quite effective on my size spam team, at least in Reg H, was actually Clear Amulet Incineroar, like super offensive Incineroar,
Whoa.
with close combat. I actually was running Fake Out on it, crazily enough, just because you could go for some really crazy turn one plays where you don't have psychic terrain up yet and you can still get the fake out off and get like a massive attack off with, in this case it would be the Alakazam. um and then yeah, I don't know, I'm a big believer in offensive Incineroar. I think it's definitely a little bit underutilized, though on this team I do think Assault Vest Incineroar could also be really fantastic.
Okay, I agree with the AV, but we do not go fake out, right? Like there's dude, like we have like do we need that? Like that is like is it overkill? Like 'cause we could go snarl, we could go knockoff, but it's like when are we ever I guess if we lead Incin and we don't lead Side Spam, but when are we doing that?
that's
Because we have I don't know.
That's when I used it, and in in-game scenarios when Psychic Train was down, because my first thought when I was building my Psy Spam team in Reg H was
Okay.
like fake outs. Like I would be insane to run fake out on this team because like I have so much Psychic Train. Um, but it actually was pretty good, honestly. I have to say,
Yeah,
like
you
it
never regret
really
having fake out. I get it, dude. If
exactly. It's
yeah.
such a because I initially had like I think parting shot or U-turn over it, and so I just was like three attacks plus pivoting. And there were just so many matchups. Granted, this was also Reg H, so like Dragonite was everywhere. But that being said, in Champions, I know of a flying type that is going to be everywhere, and that's Mega Salamence. And I do think that Fake Out would be very, very nice for that alone.
Right. Oh yeah, no, I do agree. Actually, I think that instant that makes a lot of sense, especially for Salamence. Yeah, Mega Salamence is gonna be. I that guy's gonna be annoying. I agree.
Yeah.
Um, I do kind of miss not having Tailwind. Maybe we could go Tailwind over Indeedee because technically there's a lot of redundancy in the Indeedee and Lele, and we could pick a direction
Yeah.
more if we wanted to evolve with that. But I like this concept as a starting core. But this was a cool
Yeah.
starting point. I don't want to go too much in this. Build complete. Okay, next build. All right, low punny. Let's get into that one. All right, what do we got for low punny?
I think Lopunny looks like a really fantastic balance mon to me. It has such a deep move pool, and honestly, the thing that I'm most keen to use on it is the fact that it has an unblockable fake out and it also has encore. As we saw with this team that I brought to Sydney, I am a big, big, big encore lover. I absolutely love the move on anything that gets it. Lopunny's got a fantastic speed tier as well at 135. Obviously, it's very contested with like Chin Pow, Fluttermane, and the bikes. But that 135 speed tier is amazing, and so I would go, I think like fake out close combat encore protect maybe on it. I could maybe slot out protect for something like U-turn or maybe Thunder Wave or
Wait, I have an
maybe
idea.
normal
What
stab.
if instead of going fake out, we actually went with Ensign and Rillaboom as our fake outers, and we played it as more of just an
Mm,
Encore, and then we could use this thing to exploit them trying to protect on our fake outers, and then we can force another Pokemon to get like a theoretical advantage, like a Calm Mind Raging Bolt Isk archetype, so we can punish them with Encores
mhm,
on the Whimsicott if we need, or we can punish them with Encores on the Lopunny if we need to, but it builds into the Rillaboom Ensign core very nicely just inherently. The
mm,
one thing which I'm worried about is we really, really need a fairy resist if we were to go Raging Bolt. We don't have to go Raging Bolt because we have any Pokemon alive. So what Pokemon could we
mhm.
add that resist fairy is my next question that could like set up or something.
I hate this Pokemon, very much, so please forgive me for saying this because
Okay.
I hate this Pokemon. Celesteela, would be
Oh,
pretty good, I feel, especially next to Rillaboom and Ensign. I'm so glad it's not in Scarlet and Violet, but on a balanced type structure like this, just having
yeah,
a
if we have
really
Terra,
solid fairy resist, and yes, that can potentially terrestrialize, it just sounds like a total nightmare. And especially Celesteela, I feel like you're protecting around a lot. The one reason why I actually would want to keep Fake Out on the Lopunny is just because the fact that you can fake out ghost types. Um,
mm,
that would be the main. I do see the vision with. I definitely was going to say Rillaboom and Incineroar as partners for it, for that sort of balance fire, water, grass type core.
we could go
Um,
Amoonguss and replace the Ensign or replace one of the Rillaboom or Ensign, and then we go Amoonguss as our
I
fair
think
resist.
I agree. Yeah, I think that could work as well.
Okay.
Yeah,
So we go Amoonguss over the
yeah.
Rillaboom. That can work. Terrain might be a bit annoying. Theoretical size spam, even though it doesn't exist. So keep that in mind. If we do have a Celesteela, we could go
Mhm.
Wide Guard in the Celesteela if we really wanted
That's
to
true,
theoretically go with
yes.
that. Break
Yeah,
those
I think you
things.
could get away with, like, Wide Guard, Heavy Slam, Leech Seed, Protect type set, just single attacking Leech Seed, sit on the field, maybe provide you some support. Um, yeah, that could definitely work, and then you could
Fire
have
types
something
are
like
annoying.
Raging Bolt.
Okay, that can work. Raging
Yeah,
Ball can work.
Raging Bolt could definitely be good in the back,
A
and
ground type
then
would be good.
I mean, I know that this mon is just, like, so splashable on literally everything, but I think you could go with either Landorus or Shifu in the last slot here, and it would definitely work.
Okay, wait. So we're saying Landorus. Okay, so I'll slot in Landorus over the Celest. Okay, so I have Landorus, Celesteela, Incin, Amoonguss, Lopunny, and then what's the last one?
Um,
This could be Fluttermane low key. No, so Amoonguss or status spammer. We don't need a. We don't need status. What's like? We gotta think outside the box. I'm gonna look by speed. We do need a
I
speedy
think we might
person
need speed control,
or
yeah,
control. Yeah, good thinking.
yeah.
It
Um,
could be like Sash Tornadus, and we could just go like an offensive, like Bleakwind kind of spam sort of
mhm,
thing, just so we have it.
that could
But
work.
but we don't really need
Flying
Tailwind
coverage
because the only
is
thing is just
nice.
Landorus. Because Landorus is like, I mean,
Yeah,
I guess Landorus does need speed control, doesn't he? And also, it'd be nice with Encore with Tailwind. That could be very nice with fake out Encore
yeah,
Tailwind.
and
That
I
sounds very
and I
nice.
think if we don't have good speed control next to Landorus, then the Mega that I feel like is
Oh
going to be,
yeah.
like, the top dog is gonna destroy us, which is Mega Metagross. Because Landorus is, like, our one way to kind of cleave through that, and it outspeeds Landorus.
So there is a solution, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. It could instead of like going
Mhm.
like a brain dead tailwind setter, we could just go like Regieleki and go like Electro Webs with Focus Sash, and we could just play
Yeah,
something like that maybe.
yeah,
Okay.
totally. I love Regieleki, I would totally be down for that.
Yeah, it's because we have a ground type, and we also like so we have like two flying types. So it's like we have like so many
Mhm.
ground or like ground resists on our team already. So I feel like we can get away with having an electric type to send it to its full potential. Because electric types are cool, but they're very specific. You need your team kind of like adapted
Absolutely.
around it. Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. Oh wow, we just like if this ever comes back, let this be documented. What today's February 9th. For me, it's February 10th if you're on other parts of the world. We just built two teams. If any of these ever win a regional, just know it's traced back to here. But thank you everyone for watching until the very end. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Drew, for being on here
Oh,
as
thank you for
well.
having me.
Yeah, no, it's just awesome. It was really cool. I had some great conversation with you, just personally. I'm gonna talk with you after this, but I'm just gonna wrap this up real quickly. So, thank you, audience, for watching. Love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Truly. Subscribe. Period. All right, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Peace. Goodbye.